What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool live stream slash video. And today we're back in... Where's my music? Where's the game music? Why is there no... I don't know, but it's too silent in here. But welcome back to our rebuild of Celebration City and Planet Coaster. I'm excited. So what we're going to be doing today, last episode, which was actually quite a few months ago, I've been meaning to get back to this a lot lately. And I've been excited. I've been excited to get back into this because I've been wanting to finish this very, very dearly because I love this park. It was such a big park in my childhood. It wasn't open for very long, but it was a huge park in my childhood, and just to maybe relive it would be amazing. So I'm trying to get it back up and running, and JLW Entertainment is happy to announce that they are bringing back Celebration City. I would love to have it for the 2018 season, but we'll see. It shouldn't be too big of a project. The park is not very large. It's actually kind of a smaller park, so hopefully it's not going to be that too big of a project. As you can see, everything we did here was just in part one when we did what we did do. So everything's going to be slightly different, though. So if you've ever been to Celebration City, the buildings are going to be a little different. The main streets are going to be a little different. That's because we are redoing everything. Oh, not everything. We're redoing quite a bit of the everything, but the path layout and everything I'm going to try and keep true. So have I actually ever visited Celebration City? Yes, many times. I've been to Celebration City many times when it was running, and I was so sad when it closed when I was a kid, because I was still pretty young when it closed. Oh gosh, well, I was in high school when it closed, or just entering high school when it closed. So, no, gosh, I've been out of high school for a while now. Well, not like a whole long while, but I've been out. So, anyways, I'm going to keep the name of it true, of course, Celebration City. It's got to have the same name. I'm just going to be reopening it with some new rides and attractions, and I'm wondering what I'm going to do. I'm still trying to debate what I'm going to do in the Wildcat section, where they tore down Wildcat, because I want to keep it, like, realistic. Like, if this was actually happening, I would want to keep it kind of realistic to where Wildcat actually isn't still there. So I had a lot of different thoughts in my mind, and I'm trying to realistically figure this out, because I was first thinking maybe an getting an RMC layout for Wildcat, but then I would think that might not be very realistic with Outlaw Run right down the road, literally right down the road. So it would be too similar of a ride unless I made it very different. Can I collab with Silverette? Please. I would love to. I would definitely love to if I had the opportunity. I'm 100% up for that. Okay, so what I have a lot of good footage. If you haven't seen the drone footage on YouTube, someone has some drone footage of the abandoned park. It's very helpful and a very great reference for the park, building the park. That I use that, and also Google Earth to try and get a nice layout. What I want to do today, but I'm trying to plan it out because I do want to make the parking lot. Parking lot's going to be over here, so it doesn't have a huge parking lot. So what I want to do today is really try and get a lot of the path layouts and really get the park in perspective, and then start adding stuff. Maybe even try and get into some of the coasters a little bit. And I'm thinking I might have to move the go-karts just a little bit. I think I might have put them a little too close over here, but we'll see. There's a lot of great shots of the park. A lot of shots of the park there. So anyways, so we're gonna go over to the drone footage. So I'm going to be away from the chat just for a little bit, just so you guys know. So I'm going to try... I'm just going to try and get some really nice shots here if the video plays. Oh, there it goes. Alright, so what I want is to get a nice shot of that Main Street section, because it has some really good shots. That's going to help me out a lot. And for everything else, I'm going to try and go into Google Earth if I can't get the correct shots I need for this. So we should be easily fitting this all into one sandbox park, because it's not a very large park. It was just kind of more of almost like a fair kind of park, more than anything. It wasn't like a fully fledged theme park like Silver City was, which is right down the road. It was very different from Silver City, and I think that's because Silver City owned Celebration City, so their plan kind of backfired, and I think they kind of competed with itself, and that was kind of the reason why it didn't go as well as planned. Oh, there's the shot. I completely skipped over the shots that I meant to get. So alright, so I already see a plot of land where a ride used to be, looking at the footage here, and I'm looking back on it, and I'm so excited because it actually looks very similar to the layout of the actual thing. So so those two buildings, and then there's another building right here, and then there's a pathway that goes back here, maybe a backstage section, I'm not entirely sure, but this little main street is probably going to take up the most amount of time. But there's a plot of land over here that would easily fit a ride right back behind this. So it's actually a ride. And then right behind that, you actually have that. Oh, I know that section. It's the game section. And I wonder if this is where Accelerator was. I can't remember exactly. I know it was down towards that way, but I can't remember if that's where Accelerator was, which is now at Silver City as Firefall, which is awesome. So I think we're going to put a new ride in there, in that section, when we get around to it. So let's see if I get a good spot here. So I'm going to try and get the pathing down here. So this goes this way. So we're going to click on the paths, and there's a nice circular path, kind of like a plaza, that has the merry-go-round in it. So we're going to try and capture that. Again, I think I need to move the go-karts because they are kind of in the way. See, I can select both of those. I'm just going to move them over here. Because they are slightly in the way of my building over here. And we'll position those in the correct area as soon as we get this done. So this is going to circle around a little bit here. So we're going to go to paths, and it has more of this gravel texture path. We're going to stick with that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the in-game stuff like right there because that will not fit in the end. So there's another path just over here that breaks off over here. It's got slightly smaller width. That leads down to that plot over where that first ride is. And it's just kind of a straight path and a little bit more of an angle, and the other building is going to fit over here. Gotta make sure there's room for that building to go right there. So we'll angle that just a pinch more. And that's going to go that way. So again, I want to get a lot of the path work done here. So that's going to be a lot of my goal. Alright, so I'm going to start this about over here. And this is going to circle around. We'll connect that in just a moment. And this is going to wrap around this way. And the merry-go-round will go right there. Alright, so we can go ahead and connect this. And we are going to use this advanced method of smoothing this out because it's got a little bit of curve on the corners right here. So we want that to stay true. Same with the connection here. So we're going to keep it true to as much as we can here. But I mainly want to get the layout of the park kind of down. I might even add, or probably will go ahead and add the merry-go-round spot right here. Okay, I'm going to head back to the comments, see what you guys are saying, because it's... But... And I have heard of Six Flags New Orleans. I've actually passed by it before when I was back, and I actually went down to New Orleans one year. But anyways, alright, we're getting back to it. Again, if I'm away from the comments, see, it'd be nice to have a third monitor. I would love to have a third monitor, so I can have a monitor just for comments or something like that. That would be awesome. Okay, so this building is going to expand this way and kind of have its own little plaza section right here, because it will break off over there. It's kind of got an L shape to it. Again, these buildings are slightly different. Just for the fun thing that they're going to be kind of different. So I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of get the shape of these buildings down. So I'm just going to place some flat sections to try and match what this was. So probably about that like that. And it's going to come all the way down here. And there's kind of like a corner piece right there. And we're going to build this. And I'm glad, because I can actually build this a little bit different than what it actually is. Because, you know, they're actually tearing down... What this is going to be doing is it's going to be tearing down some buildings, kind of using a little bit of the existing structure, but it's going to be kind of redoing a lot of the buildings. That's going to be the fun thing about it. So everything's going to be kind of... It's going to be interesting of how all this works. So we're going to put down our first ride, and that is going to be the merry-go-round, the carousel. Oh wow, this is a lot smaller than what is actually there, except the one itself, I should say, actually has a bigger cover to it. So I think I'm going to see if I can't find anything on the Steam Workshop. I actually have a blueprint that would work out quite nicely, because again, everything's being renovated, even the carousel. So the carousel might even be a completely different carousel. It might just be a new carousel. So carousel. You know, we got the carousel pavilion and the skin. So you got, like, let's see what this one looks like. I really like this one a lot. So I'm kind of thinking about using this one. But the carousel is slightly raised up on a platform. Just a little bit. So we're going to keep that in account. And we're going to keep this pretty true to the path here, as best as we can. So there's the Venetian carousel. And again, we raised it off the ground, but we're going to be building stuff underneath it, and there is a dark pathway that actually goes around it, kind of like parallel to this. If we actually do it this way, so this is going to, let's see, it's like straight from this, actually this piece, and it kind of breaks off, and it's got some planters on the side. So we're gonna make sure that Again, scenery is going to make this look great, so keep that in mind. We are just doing like a layout here for this. So this is, I'm just trying to get the layout of the park going. So it'll all look nicer in the end, but as of right now, it's going to be kind of interesting looking. I'm going to try and smooth this piece out here so it looks nice and natural. There's actually like big two things right there. Interestingly enough. But again, we are just doing some nice little stuff right now. We're not actually building a lot of stuff. We're just trying to get that park layout going. So that is the idea. So we got another Main Street building right here on the corner. It's also got like a corner spot right there for that. There's also a planter there, and this heads down to a ride spot that goes right here. So we're gonna add a ride over here, and it's a round section, so it's kind of a larger plot. And again, I'm trying to keep in the count of Silver Dollar City a little bit, so I don't want it to resemble Silver Dollar City too much. So I'm going to try and mix up the rides and attractions a little bit so it's got some different rides. And this, the Troika, the Tri-Storm, will actually fit pretty well. It's actually a pretty... The size is actually pretty accurate for it, and let's see, that's the back of that, that's the back of that. It's actually around right here. So I think that ride will actually fit in there really well. Again, we're gonna have some, so we got this, and there's a building here, and there's a pathway that actually leads back behind there as well. So yeah, there's a little plot of land right here, a little plot for a ride. So we're gonna add the Troika, because Silver Dollar City does not have one of those. And I want to keep it as if it's owned by Silver Dollar, or that it's that way there's a difference between the two parks. Okay, so this is actually going to continue this way. And it's going to be in between these two buildings on this corner. And we'll fit that building in there as well. So, alright, let's smooth this pathing out just a little bit. So, I don't know how well this episode's going to really be. It's going to be kind of an interesting episode with a lot of pathing and stuff, probably. And just trying to get a feel where everything's going to go. So, I know the exit of this will be over here. So, let's put the entrance and make it wrap around. We've got some pathways here. Try and angle this. Alright, move the exit a little bit more this way, because it is more a little bit more at an angle. So it's already got a pathway that connects to the path. Alright, so this path continues this way, so we'll place that so we can actually connect that there. I can't wait till this is actually like in a completed state. It will be really, really neat. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but getting all the details and stuff of this is going to be the fun part, or the interesting fun part about it. So we got our first couple rides. We got a couple of rides in the park. And let's see what we're gonna do here. We got that. Let's see if I get another good shot. Okay, so it flips it around, and we get a shot from the forward right here, from right here, or we get a shot from right here. And we can kind of see the roads, how they go. So these actually connect on the sides, and then the entrance is in the back. Entrance, and I believe the exit's also in the back. That actually fits in there pretty well with the ride skin that I used. So I'm using a couple of different Steam Workshop items for fun, because they actually work really well. Because I cannot really create any, like, gonna be honest, I can't really create a good ride skin for this thing. Alright, so this actually, I'll go back behind here. Oh, that's ugly. See if I can't shape it up to be a little bit better. Alright, and then there's a smaller path that will connect with this. So we have that connected there. And then there's also one on the other side. I need to fix that shape. It's actually it's a lot more round than that. So I kind of messed that up. It's round, but there's more pathway in the front, so it's going to be kind of hard to figure out how I'm going to do this. See if I can build this up a little bit further, maybe? Yeah, that's actually looking better. Because this pathway is a little bit thicker in the front than it is in the back. So that's why we're going to try and see if we can't move that up a little bit. There, it's not perfect, but again, we're probably going to do everything else a little bit differently. There, that's a much better shape. Much better shape. And there's still some, a lot of like planters and stuff around the carousel itself, so we'll keep that in mind. Alright, so that will go there. That will go hopefully somewhere right here. Wait. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so we have a path that actually wraps around here that goes along with it. It's actually a different texture, so what kind of texture can we use? Let's use the stone texture. It's not the stone texture on here, but it will actually work well for us. So it's a slightly less width path. The width of the path is just a little bit less, I think. But it starts to go off this way. And then there's like a T spot right here. And then there's a pathway that wraps around, and these actually will connect. If I'm looking at it correctly. Yeah, because this path will go up here a little bit. Kind of curve. And then straighten back up. While this one pretty much comes up like this. And there's like this big tree spot right there. Man, I think I believe I did the proportions of the track maybe just a little bit off. Hopefully I'll still be able to fit this in here properly. Because I'm actually kind of going off in a way that I don't want to. So I'm gonna place the go-karts off to the side until I can actually get those in the proper spot. I might redo this path work. I'm actually gonna head into Google Earth right now. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna open that up. Because I might be at the wrong angle. Because I feel like it should be going more that way. Let's see if I can find it. I might be able to type in Celebration City. There it is. Permanently closed. Until I redo it. Of course. Not for much longer. Okay, let me see where I'm at right now. So there's the... Oh, gosh. It went out of satellite. There it goes. Alright, so there's that. Those are those. And it goes back in that way. Okay, I'm going to compare my aerial view with that aerial view. And it's matching up pretty decently. Actually, it's almost spot on. Kind of scared that I didn't actually give myself enough room over here, and I should have done this further down. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now, unfortunately. Because it uses a lot of the left side. Because I'm at the carousel, yeah, I still have a lot to put in there. Let me see. I might be over scaling this actually too. If I'm looking at it correctly. Is this in 3D? I think Celebration City is in 3D. Yes, it is. So that actually helps a little bit too. Let me go back over here. I might have to adjust the pathing quite a bit. Yeah, there's the flat ride spot, which doesn't look too bad. The pathing is just a little bit different, but that's okay if the pathing's different. It doesn't have to be the exact same. Yeah, I kind of overscaled this spot right here, I think. But still, I still don't, regardless if I scale it down, I still think I didn't allow enough room over here. If that's the case, I'm going to have to move everything over to the right, back over here a little bit. That's what I'm scared of. Okay, so where are we at right now? So if I move this... Yeah, I'll definitely have enough room. Hopefully have enough room. For that. Yeah, let me scale down this circle a little bit. I'm actually gonna get rid of all this path and redo this section. Because what I tried to do when I first started building was scale this road to the parking lot and stuff to where it would, because there's a road at the end off to the side. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see, how much space is there between that and the entrance? See, I think I didn't put enough space between there. Because the go-karts literally go right here. Yeah, I definitely have scaled this kind of incorrectly. Okay, let me try and put those go-karts where they're supposed to. That's the one thing about recreations, especially when you're rebuilding like a specific area, is that it's hard to get the proportions of everything correct. I've noticed that is it's a very difficult kind of challenge. Okay, so I'm going to do this because there's actually no curve there. And we're going to try and redo that. So I slightly did a design. I see a design flaw in my go-karts as well. Okay, so this parking lot needs to be starting way down here. So that shouldn't be there. It should be more along the lines of down here. The go-karts are hugging right next to that road. And then there is a small plot of land actually right here that is completely empty. And then we have the arcade spot here, along with Wildcat. Oh gosh, the Wildcat area. I always keep typing accidentally over here, and then it clicks over here. And the Wildcat area pushes a little bit more further that way. So if I scale it correctly, I can fit all this in properly, like I'm supposed to. But that's the thing. Can I scale everything to proper proportions? Because this is actually needing to go over here further. And I'm messing it all up. And boy, would I hate to try and move everything and then try to move the pathways along with that. That would be nightmares. Or kind of a nightmare. But I might have to redo the pathways anyways to try and get this correct. Decisions. What do I do? Man. Okay. I'm not doing as good as I thought I was. I thought I was doing great, but not really, actually. Alright, I'm gonna build this out a little bit more because it is further out. Over here. Like that. We got that building, and then the water ride's literally right there. See, I have plenty of space back here where I could possibly move everything over just a little bit, just to give me that extra space over here next to the road. I think that might be our best bet, is to try and move everything before we get too far in and realize, you know, that we can't fit the entire thing over here. So if I okay, so if I select pretty much everything here and press X, how well can I move it? Because I'm going to have to delete, like, all the pathways, too, if I do this. And redo the pathways. And I already made, like, the path stuff, so. Alright, so it's pretty zoomed out here. I made everything kind of too big in some spots and too small in others. If that makes sense. What can I do? Like, I don't want to completely redo the pathing at all. I don't really want to do that. Like, I feel like all this is really good, and then I just didn't give myself enough room over here, I feel. Or maybe the go-karts are just too big. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just made them a little bit too large. That could be a huge possibility as well. Because this pathway actually should be a little bit, or a lot smaller. I think I'm just overscaling some of the paths. I think that's my, alright, we're gonna say that I'm overscaling the pathways. I'm gonna move you over. Because I'm about as zoomed out as this, and I can tell that that is way too large. So let's go ahead and delete those. I'm gonna delete this and redo this. I'm sorry, this is gonna be a lot of trial and error, so just kind of bear with me as we try and get this the way we need to. But we will get it. So I gotta make sure there's plenty of space over here for the go-karts, and I have to try and fit those in properly. Alright, so now I'm gonna zoom in and really try and get that path the way it's supposed to. Okay, so I'm gonna select all this, and I'm gonna move this right in front of the this pathway where it's supposed to be. Let's see, is the world axis a little bit? No. We'll just get this as close as we can, and we're gonna back this up because it is lined up with this path pretty much perfectly. And I'm going to just put a pathway around it completely. Alright, where's the exit at? The exit's right here. So we gotta be careful. So I'm gonna make the width actually smaller than what I was doing. And we're just gonna try and curve this around as best as we can. Can I make a perfect circle? That's the goal. We gotta make a perfect circle. I might even lower this down. Otherwise, it's gonna be a nightmare trying to get the entrance and everything connected to it. I don't know if it really had a queue line. It probably doesn't really need a queue line in the first place. So I'm gonna bring this on down to ground level. For right now. We'll see how it goes, but for right now we'll have it at ground level. And now we'll get the other textured path. We're gonna go with because it will be connected to that. That will be good right there. And I'm going to see if I can't angle this pathway just more this direction than anything. Because it's going to go there. It's going to break off. There we go. That's a lighter scale on that. Then there's some stuff here. And then hopefully, because this is all next to the road, or pretty close to the road, the stuff that's over here. Hopefully, I can fit that in there. I think my distance is just a little bit close. I might even revamp this area. I mean, it's got a lot of just empty spots. So I might just revamp this area to make it look like it will fit in perfectly anyways. And just build the building over there. Because if I do that, I think that will work. Because this is an area where it just has a lot of different kind of flat rides. And I can actually see the plot of land over here where there actually was a roller coaster as well. It was a very small plot of land for a roller coaster, and it's just off to the side over here, which might mean we could possibly build a roller coaster over here. If that's what we want to do. A replacement for, I believe, Jackrabbit was right there. And then over here was, the one I'm looking at now, that was Thunderbolt, I believe it was called. I can't remember if it was Thunderbolt or Firebolt. One of the two. It was definitely one of those two. I know that for sure. Okay, so... But again, this is going to be the Celebration City layout of the park, pretty much. But it's going to be very different. If that kind of makes sense. It's going to be very different. Because they're going to be... What I'm doing is redoing the park completely. So it's going to be Celebration City, except because, you know, all the rides have been stripped out. There's like no rides left in this park. The carousel is still there, but I renovated it, so it's going to be different than the carousel that was in the park, so that's what it's going to be. As for the go-karts, they're supposed to fit right here. I'm going to see if I can't fit them in here. I might have to redo them just a little bit. Slightly to try and fit it in here. But it does go in... It is more angled in like... this. And that empty plot of land is right behind the carousel, so... I need to leave that open. And this building's actually... a little bit further away than I thought it was. I think I'm going to try and scale down the go-karts as much as I can. Or I can at least maybe adjust the road right here and give us just a little bit more room as well. Because this is right next to that. And yeah, because I got the layout just slightly wrong because this loop is actually more over here. So we're just going to have to edit that. So I'm going to edit this to get out of there. Because it doesn't really go right there. And the loop is more actually over here at the end. Alright, we're gonna get rid of the auto tunnel. And I think I'm gonna edit the road just a little bit too. That way it doesn't get in our way. Alright, so we're gonna raise this up just a little bit as we go in. Looks like it actually takes a slight right before actually looping. And hopefully we can get this to where we need to be. Okay, so I'm gonna place that there and whoops, maybe I'm not. I'm gonna place that there and then try the autocomplete. And looks like that's not gonna work. So we're gonna cancel that. And we're gonna try and get this connected over back here. Ooh, that's too big. So we're gonna delete a piece there and then we'll hopefully might have to make that and doesn't go any steeper. Alright, so we might just ramp this up just a little bit. Alright, I'm going to take these and give that a little more natural feel. There we go. Still not completely where I need it to be. I'm trying to figure out how is that so compact? How did they do that? I don't know how they did it. Okay, so if that loop, like it's just over here, so I'm trying to figure out how I do this. I'm gonna work from back this way, because it's like, all right, let's try working backwards here and see what happens. Huh, maybe I just need to shorten that up more. Maybe that's what it is. Again, I'm going to try and adjust this as best as I can. Alright, we're at 0. And now let's crank this down. Oops. Alright, less steep there. Alright, I'm going to put this at 0, and then we're going to get that level with the ground. Hopefully. Okay. Now we can adjust this to match what this is doing. There we go. Don't know if that's going to be perfect, but now it makes this just a little bit easier, because now all we're going to do now is kind of adjust this road here. to get around it perfectly. There we go. And that's actually a very good shape of what it actually is, so. But there's supposed to be a little bit of room here for like a coaster. But it's actually very tightly packed right here. So, I'll zoom in on it just a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to try and build this plot of land because it is all like a concrete slab spot. We're going to see what happens here. It's kind of like, it's kind of got a little bit of a yellowish, kind of like that color going on for it. And it's more near the station right here. It's like all straight too. Like a straight piece. That just goes along right here. So what I'm gonna do, hopefully, see how many tiles we can build this across. Like so. Alright, let's just select all these and just copy and paste. Pretty much. Oh, I missed one. How did I do that? There we go. Oh gosh, I keep misplacing stuff. And so we're going to, I'm changing the landscaping up just a little bit. So I'm going to edit this. We're going to delete some of this front here. And I actually kind of want to build it more, build more outwards here. And it's going to be kind of like a nice little plot of land for a smaller kind of roller coaster. So in reality, what it has done, because I'm seeing this area of land and there's just a lot of room for like flat rides and stuff. That's kind of what this area was all about, was a lot of flat rides and areas and stuff like that. And we're going to make it to take all of that out, and we're just going to put one big ride into it. So instead of having all those, would you rather have like 2 or 3 flat rides or a bigger roller coaster? Because there was a roller coaster back there, but it was a very small one. So we're trying to create a little bit more space to where there is, because all the roller coasters are gone now, so. So that will take up that area, And then we're almost into actually the end piece here with that building and this area over here, that arcade building. And then this will lead us into this area, which will also lead us over to the Wildcat area, where Ozark Wildcat was. So, before we move on too far, why don't we get our first roller coaster kind of built in here? So, it's going to be a smaller roller coaster, nothing too big, and it's going to be fitting into this plot here, so not a whole lot of room to work with. So, we're going to be looking at a smaller coaster, nothing too large. So, I want to hear what you guys think in the comments what we should do here. So, I'm looking through here. And let me see some of the possibilities that we could actually do here. So, I got a good possibility here. So, we can either put a boomerang coaster fitted right here and maybe make the queue line over here. So, a boomerang is an option. A compact, a spinning coaster, spinning wild mouse, or a regular spinning coaster is an option. I don't want to... It would be different enough from Time Travelers, so it's not going to, like, conflict with it. So that's that. So this isn't a big plot of land, so we're going with a smaller coaster. So I want to hear what you guys think. So should we go with a boomerang, a spinning coaster? I don't really want to put a junior coaster in right here. So we could do the Aero Trains or the Vekoma Trains. Let's see. Or we do have the Looney Tunes, which I believe, yeah. Which is like the El Loco. Which also wouldn't be a bad option because they are kind of compact as well. And then we have a vote for Gerstlauer Eurofighter. That might work too, because they are typically compact as well. This is going to be an interesting challenge for me because it is very, very I'm not good with compact areas. I like building in like large areas, so it is kind of a challenge for me. And you know, for the ones that are watching, make sure just to keep in mind, just keep it in, just keep in mind that we're going to be adding a lot of scenery to the park that will make it look a lot better right now. Right now, we're just trying to get a little bit of an outline. So yeah, I've never been really good at building the spinning coasters. I could build a spinning wild mouse a lot easier, but spinning coasters, not the hugest or the best. Or we can make like a small coaster that uses the spinning trains, but it's not, doesn't actually spin. One of the two. I kind of have this crazy idea of possibly like building different possibilities, and then you guys vote for it. So. Alright, let's start off. I kind of want to have some really nice coasters in here. Or trying to have some really cool coasters. So let's just get our hands at a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. Let's see if we can't create a nice Gerstlauer Eurofighter. Gosh dang, hard to talk. Eurofighter. So we'll place this in here. I just feel like it gives the bigger ride feel to it if we try and use one of these. Alright, I'm going to place this a little bit over here. We're going to raise the station up just a bit. Now, keep in mind, we're not making... This isn't going to be a huge coaster, so we're not making anything huge. Alright, we're going to have the second, because we're just going to do a small 90-degree turn right out of the station with some drive tires. Oh, God, maybe not. Those are just, that doesn't look good. Never mind. It should be able to get out of there. No problem with it like that. So now we'll go out of there into a nice vertical lift hill. And I kind of want this to be just around 100 feet tall. How tall is that? 119. Let's see. 106. I want it like just right around that 100-foot marker. So 106 feet will work fine for me. And then we're gonna make this nice drop beyond 90 degrees, of course, because it is a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. Alright, probably about this point we'll transition to... I haven't made too many Gerstlauer Eurofighters, but I know they transition... Once it starts getting close to the bottom, they transition into that triangular, beefier track. Maybe I should make that drop just a little bit bigger. That wise, maybe. I don't know. Alright. It's going to be that. Let's go ahead and try and smooth this out just a little bit. And hopefully it will go with the Beyond vertical drop very well. At least that's the hopes. One thing that Celebration City didn't really have is any inverting coasters. So this will definitely add to the lineup that I think that they were missing in the first place. Alright, so what I want to build is maybe like an Immelman. I think that's very common on these kinds of rides right out of the start. See if I can't create a decent Immelman. Okay, so we're gonna turn on baking offset just a little bit, see if we can't create a little bit of a heart line. As best as we can anyways, with Planet Coaster. Alright, and we should probably start the test to make sure it's gonna make it through this decently. Alright, our supports are going off to the side, out of the boundaries. Okay, so looks like it's got some good, or the kind of like the speed that we want going into that. At least the speed that I want. Okay, I'm not going to completely level it out. Hopefully the way I smooth it will work out the way I want it to. Because it's going to go Immelman into a banked turn here. And we're going to head it back this direction so we can use up that area and give it some good use. So we'll have a nice turnaround. We're going to head back up just a little bit. And my next element hopefully will be good. Alright, I'm going to try and maintain that heart line as much as I can. We'll see if it works. I'm going to see if this will slightly work by using kind of like that smoothing method, but we're not using the short pieces. I don't know if it'll help at all. Yeah, I think it's getting rid of it, fortunately. It looks like it's starting to get pretty smooth though, which is a good thing. So this coaster is going to be sitting on the plot of land where Jackrabbit was, and also a couple of other flat rides, and it's taking over that land. So, just so you guys know, because again, none of the coasters that were there are even there anymore. They've all been shipped off to other parks. I think they sold them all, except for Wildcat, which just had a demise, came to a demise, and just died because no one wanted him anymore. All right, let's see how well that's gonna go through there. Whoosh. It looks pretty smooth. See, my goal is trying to create kind of like an inversion hungry coaster here. So what I'm gonna do here actually is create a nice awesome roll. Thing with these kinds of tracks is I can't ever figure out if I'm where the top of my track is. Alright, we're going to try and see if we can create a heartline roll. I might just use the advanced method just for this one roll. If this doesn't work out, so. But that's if it doesn't work out. Because I can use it on one element. It's already making it tighter, and I think it's getting rid of it. Hey, it still's got that heart line. Oh gosh, it went a little bit faster than I thought it would. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And we're actually going to go, let's go with the small pieces. And we're going to use the advanced smoothing method on this inversion. Just so I can create a nice smooth roll. That's going to be my goal here. So if you haven't heard of this method, you pretty much put the banking offset on a little bit, go down to the smallest parts or smallest pieces that you can build, and just kind of shape your track up to what you want it to be. And then after that, you use the smoothing tool very, very slowly and a very time-consuming manner. That's the only catch. Alright, I'm trying to make this to where it doesn't have a lot of what am I trying to say? Trying to make it where it loses a little bit of speed, so you get some really nice kind of like hang time. Ha, just like the ride going into Knott's Berry Farm. The new coaster. Alright, so we're gonna roll it over here. Because I'm going to try and get the most out of I can with the momentum of the ride. As much as I possibly can. Alright. Doesn't look the prettiest, so hopefully it's not going to turn out too bad. We'll see. We can always adjust it a little bit. But I'm trying to build my coasters to where they're going to be nice, really high quality. Maybe if that's what the word I'm looking for. I don't know. But all right, let's see if we can get this to looking good. Now the recommended times is about 8 times of doing it. You don't necessarily have to do it that many times, but see, that's 1. I've figured out that you can actually do this only in the places that you really need to. Kind of can save a little bit of time when building your rides. I think I've done it 2. This is 3, I think. And then you really start seeing it take shape, but it will keep that heartline roll. Don't necessarily know if this is the shape I want, though. Oh, I missed this part back here. Didn't realize I was 4 meters back there. There. I think I did my twist just a little bit too tight right here. Maybe. Might have to redo the whole thing. My goal is to try at least have 4 coasters in the park by the time it opens. The park itself, when it was open, only had 3, and 2 of them were very small. And the other one was a beautiful GCI. But I want to hear what you guys think. Should I create an RMC version of Wildcat? Ozark Wildcat. That's what I've been trying or debating. Is if I should do that or not. Alright, I think I made the turn just a little too tight right there. So we're going to try and rework this. Just a little bit. There we go. But the only reason why I've kind of held back from the RMC Wildcat idea is because that, you know, right down the road, Silver Dollar City has an RMC already. So that's what has kind of held me back. Because my fear is it would be resembled Outlaw, or it would just because there's an RMC down the road. And since Wildcat has already actually been demolished, it would actually be a ground-up coaster, considered to be a ground-up RMC. But I could make it to where it's like the first hybrid ground-up coaster by RMC. I guess I could say that, maybe. Alright, let's see if we can't do this now. Alright. Alright, that roll looks a little bit more clean and better. Kind of the vision I was going for. Let's see if it works. Looks ugly now. Hopefully it'll transform into a masterpiece. Alright, it's at 76 foot tall right now. We get some good hang time there. Yeah. Not too much, but just enough hang time. We're going to be upside down for a little while. Alright, we've gone through one time. Recommended time is 8. Now, it's not going to have a huge or a long layout, so... But I kind of want to build some block sections. So we can run some more than a couple of trains at a time. I at least would like to run 3 trains at a time. That's my goal. Alright, let's see if we can't get this smoothed out to where we want it. I think I'm on smooth number 3. Yeah, it's starting to get smooth. It's getting there. May take it a while to get there, but it will get there. Alright, that section there is a little bit, like, rough, or jagged. Maybe, whatever kind of words you want to use. I'm getting so into this, like, I can't wait for this to be done. I'm going to try and put out more episodes of this a little more often, too, so I can try and get it done. I'd like to get it done before the year's up. You know, this one's more of a side project than anything. But it's a fun project because it's a side project because it's not a huge project because this park's not really big. But it's still going to take some time to get it detailed the way I want it to get detailed. And the proportions are off just slightly a little bit, but that's to be expected. But I'm going to try and make the park different enough to where to make that a little bit less noticeable. Like this area right here, there was a lot more space between this and the go-karts, so it was kind of condensed down and a little bit off, but that's why I'm trying to make this to where it's going to be a little bit better. By adding, you know, a big roller coaster, or kind of a larger roller coaster than what was here before. But again, I haven't really made many Gerstlire, I'm not really good at pronouncing it, Gerstlire Eurofighters in my time. I haven't made many. But I kind of have an idea of what they do a little bit. I know a lot of them have a lot of good hang time on their inversions. And I usually see a lot of them start off with an element, so I did that. But again, if you are wondering what I'm doing, I'm using the advanced smoothing method for this inversion. I don't want to do it through the entire ride because that would just take too long. It's too time consuming and just would not be very fun to watch. But in this previous spot was Jackrabbit, so I want to hear what you guys think. What should be the name of this ride? It doesn't really need to be themed all that much, but what should be the name of this ride? I'm only stating the names of the old names, just in case we want to, like, give a tip of the hat and maybe, you know, steal Jackrabbit or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of that'd actually be a pretty bad name, but... Because I want to keep that feel of Celebration City in the park. But I want to make... My goal is, since it closed down because it had didn't have a great success, I want to build bigger rides in the park. That way it doesn't have the same failure. But different enough from Silver Dollar City where it's going to get attention. And go, oh, it's just another park. You know, because Silver Dollar City doesn't have a Gristleyer or a fighter. Okay, I think we're almost done with the smoothing here. It looks pretty smooth. At least the inversion does. And it's also heartlined pretty well. So that's the goal, is it's smooth and it heartlines really well. So I'm going to smooth this turn because we haven't done that yet. My goal is to have this ride go in and out of itself quite a bit. Color, let's see, we got monster color scheme, green track with gray supports. That'd be a pretty decent color scheme. See if we can't smooth that out just a little bit. I want to make sure the transitions to each elements are going to be pretty decently smooth. I like the transition here of going from this Immelman. It has a really neat shape to it because you're going to go side bank here and then bank the same way into this kind of roll element. This very hang time-ish kind of roll. So you're going to get some nice hang time there. I was thinking about putting a vertical loop in this as well. Maybe kind of small vertical loop after this element. Kind of right here. It kind of gives it a nice little moment. And then we'll turn it around somehow. Make it go under itself a little bit more. Man, I can't wait till we get this all detailed though. It's going to look really good. At least that's the hopes, that it will look really good. Okay, I'm gonna let's take a ride and see how smooth it is so far. Oh gosh, I'm in the interest cam, so it's on the very front of the car. It's not actually in the guest point of view. And vroom. Oh, that's kind of rough. Alright, the Immelman's pretty smooth. See this roll. Kind of a little jagged in some spots, but overall, not too bad. The Immelman actually turned out better than I thought it would. The drop, though, transition from the... I don't know if it was the transition here to there. Yeah, it was kind of icky. I didn't like it. It was kind of a very weird one. I think it's just the transition to the custom track is what makes it kind of rough. I don't know why. I don't like that. We don't need that. Alright, we're going to try and smooth this out just a little bit more, see if we can't get rid of that jaggedness. And the inversions, it wasn't there, or it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't terrible kind of jagged. It was just slightly jagged there. So we're going to try and maybe adjust that. See if we can't smooth it out just a little bit more. I remember the Jackrabbit. It was a very rough ride. I don't know who the manufacturer was. It was so long ago when I rode it, I didn't actually know. It was just kind of one of those. It was more like a Wild Mouse kind of coaster. But it was very rough. It had unbanked turns, so it would jerk you around through the turns. And it really did jack you up. Like, just jacked you up. Alright, let's take a ride on these first couple elements again. Alright, I'm just going to fast forward to the top. I don't like how rough that transition is. But the Immelmann's nice and smooth, which is good. It's not exactly smooth at that spot, but it's acceptable. So I'm going to try and move on here. We'll try and move on. Alright, so we're going to make this right here. And let's try and make sure this is all smoothed out on that drop. Now we're going to get into our next element, a vertical loop. Now, I use the in-game vertical loops because some people don't use them, but I like using them. I personally think it helps me out. Let's see, we'll get through that loop okay. But most of them don't like to use it just because you have to have... It's hard to get the transition between the loop and the actual custom track without having a rough transition. I think it works okay, though. Okay, so we already got 3 inversions right off the bat. Needs a circular vertical loop. Oh, I get it. Instead of the teardrop. I don't know if that's in-game. Is this circular enough? It's more teardrop. It's not really a circular loop. I mean, it almost looks kind of borderline in between, but I don't know. Alright, so we're going to bring the track up here, and we're going to make some sort of turnaround. Alright, so I'm going to bank a little bit outwards here at first. That way we have a little bit more room to bank over. And we're going to have a nice little tight turn here. Alright, so I'm going to make the first block section here. So I want to I want to get as much height as we can so we can keep that energy going. So I'm going to get it to almost where it completely stops. Height-wise. And of course it's going to do that to me. if it can make that vertical loop, we'll be still sitting at nearly 70 feet here. See if it can make it up that. As long as it makes it, even if it's slow, that's okay, because this is going to be a brake run, and I still want to keep that momentum, because I still want to try and make it as long as I can, but it's not going to be a super long coaster. Okay, so that was a little bit too much. Too much height there. That's all right. We will just adjust it to where it's not as tall. And start test. Alright, so we're at 58 feet right now. And we'll make an optional catwalk. Ooh. That was very nice. Okay, so we're gonna go to this track just for the first drop. It's going to be another nice steep drop. We're going to deliver a 90-degree drop right out of the block brake. And we'll head back into this style of track. So this ride is going to have another steep drop. Looks like it's not going to be quite 90 degrees since I smoothed it, but smoothing's not a bad thing. No. Okay, how many inversions are we sitting at? We have 3 right now, right? Yeah. Alright, so we're going to create another roll here. So, we're going to do the advanced method for it. That way it gets that nice heart line. But it's going to be like a turning roll. So we're going to head up here. Alright, so now we can... Alright, so that's going to get us up to 41 feet. Which is pretty good. And we are going to roll it around over here I like the idea of a roll into the brake run, so we might do it just like a little barrel roll right before the into the brake run. But we're gonna get the coaster running back this way just a little bit, fill up a little bit more space over here, and then we'll go back to the brake run, or go to the brake run. Okay, so after this row, we're gonna head into this bank, banking it back to the other way. And we're not at a super high speed, so we should be able to bank this pretty heavily without creating too much stress on the track. Alright, so I'm gonna do that there, and we're gonna get to the smoothing. Let's do it. Alright, so it's gonna have some pretty decent hang time on this roll as well. Alright, we're gonna go back. So we're gonna go through this quite a few times until I think it's smooth enough. Recommended is 8, but just until I think it's smooth enough, or at least acceptable. How dark it is in my room. Yeah. I always end up doing it, but it's a little dark in here. Don't want to strain my eyes or anything. Alright, we're looking good so far. I think it's gonna shape up to be a really good inversion. I think this will be a pretty solid ride. Nothing too huge or special or big, but it's gonna deliver a pretty good ride. I love the look of the track, though. It looks awesome. It's very similar to Mach's track as well. Very identical. Oops, I pushed the wrong button, but that's okay. Alright, a little bit of stress on that final turn right there, that other turn, but it's not too bad. Has anybody counted how many times I've gone through? I don't know. I like the look of the ride so far, though. It's looking like a really good ride, aesthetically, too. Oh, I'm back over here. Couldn't figure out where my thing was. That's awesome because all the coasters pretty much had like this little concrete that it was all on, you know, this little, you know, plot of land that it was on, this little plot of concrete. And that's kind of how it worked on each coaster, except for Wildcat. Wildcat was like an exception because they actually built that before they opened the park. Because before it was Celebration City, I forgot what it was called. I think it was called Branson, USA. and a lot of the rides were still from there, but they just added Wildcat to the mix. Alright, I might go through one more time and then see kind of how smooth we are at that point. Oops, skipped one. I think the ride duration and length's looking pretty good on this ride, though. We're creating a pretty long ride for the amount of space that we're in. Alright, let's take a ride and see where we're at so far. I get up to the top here, to the 106-foot lift. Down the drop. Into the Immelman. Into the first hang time roll. And then I haven't seen this yet. We're going into the loop. Got some decent hang time on it. The turnaround, the sharp turnaround. Pretty smooth. And then into the mid-course brake run. And then into another steep drop. Into another hang time kind of roll. Pretty smooth. I will take it. I'm pretty proud of this so far. Pretty proud of the ride so far. It's turning out pretty nice. And then I think it looks really good too. What do you guys think? Looking good? I think it's looking good. Alright, how many inversions do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 inversions right now. I'm going to have at least 5. I don't know if I'll fit another one in. So what we're going to do is have it come back this way a little bit, and then we're going to have it turn around again. And then it's going to have a barrel roll finale. Kind of like a final little roll into the brake run. Yay! I'm excited. It looks good. Because by no means was Jackrabbit take up this much space at all. And it's going to be right next to the carousel. So this is actually eating up a lot of valuable space that they used, which had a couple of flat rides and then also Jackrabbit. But instead of, just doing a tiny coaster, I'm going to be taking out those flat ride sections and actually just making one larger coaster. That's kind of what the idea of it. Lime green for the track and gray supports. Everyone, it seems like a popular vote. Let me see what it looks like. Well, I heartline the barrel roll. Yes, of course. Definitely. Alright, let's get the lime green. Oh, gosh. Alright, that's the lime green track. And then we can get, like... Let's get some gray or darker gray supports here. Maybe lighter gray. This is an interesting color scheme. That lime green really just pops, though. I don't know. I kind of almost want to try something else besides the gray supports. Well, that's just me. What other? I mean, black supports don't look bad with it. Actually complements the green a lot. The black supports. I got it. Hot pink. Oh yes. Now, if that doesn't pop out, I don't know what does. It almost kind of reminds me maybe like of Gulpy Energy. Oh, if we had like a really bright yellow? Maybe. It's gotta be brighter. The Gulpy Coaster! Yeah? I feel like the yellow needs to be brighter. Oh, the yellow and green have always been is a pretty decent. But look at all the supports. I'm gonna have to adjust that. Alright, let's go in here and what? It placed a track piece when I didn't tell it to. Or didn't want it to, I should say. Alright, let's get rid of that one. I'll keep one of these, maybe. Might even do some custom supporting a little bit. For right now, we don't need that much support. Because when you do the 4-meter trick thing, it adds a lot of supports to the ride. Unnecessary supports that you don't really need. But for right now, we'll keep it around kind of like that. Okay, let's try and get this ride a little bit more finished. So I'm going to add a block section here, and also right before the barrel, that way we can have some more trains. So we can have a couple just sitting on the brake run. So I'll have one there. I'll have track number 2. And then another block section right behind it. Alright, and let's build a little bit of a brake run. I don't think it will have a whole lot of speed in the first place, so... but we'll see. Alright, so we're going to create this heart line roll at the end. I'm going to work a little bit over here and then kind of figure out which way I'm going to roll it. Alright, so I got to make sure there's room for the roll. So we don't want to mess that up. Alright, so I'm going to we're going to go up just a little bit. Let's keep testing going. Kind of want to do like just a random, really cool like outward bank turn. Get that sensation on your side. And then come back this way. I don't know, I'm just trying to create at least a neat kind of element. Maybe kind of different for a ride like this. It flows through it pretty smoothly. That'll be a little fun, kind of fun. Alright, so we're running at, we don't have too much speed left. So we're going to go around here and kind of turn around a little bit. And then line it up with the brake run. Because I want that that final roll, I want it to go kind of slow through it, but not too slow. So we got to make sure we're not going too slow through it. Alright, since we're at a lower speed, we can do a tight bank here. I'm getting a little close to that. Boom. Crash. Okay. Alright, so we are back this direction. And now we just gotta line it up perfectly. Okay, so I'm thinking of either going with the motion that I have right now, or probably be a better idea to turn it the other way and go from there. Okay, so I'm gonna do it from this side, that way it lines up perfectly with the brake run. So we're gonna start it from this side. So I'm going to want to bank it. I want to go this way. That way it enters that way. Okay. So we're going to go this way. Alright, so... $70, $80, $35. Oh gosh, 70, 30, 105. Alright, yeah. Trying to do math and seeing if I'm gonna do this correctly or not. I might have to might make it just a little tighter. Huh, it's actually, we'll see how it works. Alright, where's my track at? Right over there. We can always adjust it as well. $75, $200. Yeah, right there. I want to make it like an even as much as I can. And hopefully when we get this to turn out, we will. I might have to do more. I don't know if this is gonna fit the way I want it to. I'm gonna have to make it a tighter roll. Yeah, we're gonna have to make it a little tighter than that. So let's try 45, maybe? Alright, I'm actually gonna use the angle snap here. Go from 45 to 90. So I'm going to turn it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think this one's going to work. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're gonna have to we'll adjust that track. No problem. Whew. That track's a little close to itself. Alright, so let's just delete that one. And try and adjust this track to line up as best as we can. Try and bank it a little bit less. Turn's gonna be too tight. But we'll try it. Okay, this roll's gonna shape up tremendously after I smooth it. Absolutely tremendously. So I'm actually thinking, well, maybe if I can just angle the roll a little bit more this way than where it was. Maybe about right here. Oh gosh, it's still turning. That's why I had an issue there. Oh gosh. Alright. Alright. Now it's the moment of truth. Can we make this roll work? Let's find out. I tried to angle the roll a little bit so that way it makes this easier. Alright, so it's going to be a pretty slow roll. And hit that brake run pretty nicely. The goal in this episode, since we have been streaming for a while, is to get this coaster layout done. At least. And we'll go from there, but definitely get this layout done and completed. Make all the adjustments we need. Because all we have to do is roll this out perfectly. Keeping that heart line. I think Planet Coaster is going to do something about the heart lining and the smoothing, because a lot of people have been saying that's like the #1 thing people have been talking about recently, even Silverette, and they really listen to what Silverette has to say. I mean, because he's like the top, one of the top builder in the game right now. So, you know, and people want it right away, but they have to develop it and actually work on it. You know, it's not something they can make or fix overnight. You know, they might even have to completely revamp the coaster builder on how it works. It's starting to flow pretty smoothly through this roll. It's like, I feel like this turn right here is very, very tight, but again, the trains are very short, so I think about that a little bit too much. And we're not at a high speed, so the very tight banking, I think I'm worried about it too much because I'm not used to building Gerstlauer Eurofighters very often. I don't make them that much. I don't know how many times I've gone through, but it's starting to shape up. Let's see, how many block sections do we have? I think we have 3 block sections. Ooh, that's starting to look really good. Not quite there, but it's starting to get there. It's gonna be a really nice roll. Because it's pretty slow through that roll, and it's a perfect way to end a ride like this. And it gives us our 5th inversion, so 5 inversions on this ride, which is pretty insane for, you know, only being 106 feet tall to be able to pack in 5 inversions in the ride. It's pretty good. Alright, I think I might go back and forth one more time. So we'll go back once and then go back the other and then see where we're at on smoothness. And then we'll go for a awesome ride and see where we're at. 'Cause I'm excited. I'm pretty proud of this creation so far. It's looking pretty good. I don't know what you guys think, but you guys haven't said too much about the coaster. Alright, we're gonna smooth out this turn just a little bit. Make the transitions smooth. See what the excitement's gonna be. It's actually in the red through that roll. That's funny. I think if it has more hang time, that the excitement should go up a little bit if you're hanging upside down a little longer. But yeah, look at this. It's awesome. Pretty good little. And I tried to stay within the guidelines as much as I could. I could do another 24-hour challenge on the New Year's. Oh gosh, that was entertaining. I went crazy a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie. I went crazy a couple times. All right, let's see. I'm glad I was able to make it a pretty decently long ride too. I wasn't planning on it to be a long ride, but it was pretty decently sized. Look at the vertical loop. So that means I'm probably gonna have to ride it again because the stream decided to quit on me for a second. Darn thing. It's back. It'll be back in a second. Stream is continuing. Okay. So, sorry. Stream went on offline. I don't know if it cut out during the POV or not, so we're gonna ride it again real quick. I don't know, OBS disconnected for some reason. So I don't know why. Whee! But going through the final barrel roll, I feel like it could be a little bit smoother. It was a little bit on the rougher side. Whoosh. The custom rolls aren't perfect. And I wouldn't call them exactly smooth either. Like you can see the off-ride, it looks fantastic. Okay, let's test to see if we can successfully run the 4 trains that I wanted. So we got one back there and 3 right here. Dun, 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 dun. Think I can. I think I can. Alright, let's see if we'll stop on the left. Probably. Probably stop at the top before it hits the brake run. Make it kind of like a dive coaster. Almost. Except it doesn't hang you over. As for what's the next live stream going to be on, I'm not sure. It's kind of like a last second decision most of the time. Of what I'm going to live stream. Off-ride, these things look super smooth, but on the ride, you can see the jerky-ish kind of transition. Alright, let's see what the rating is. I guess the first train is the first train? Oh, it just made it through. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. It's a beautiful coaster though. I think I like the color scheme, that the lime green with the yellow. And I think it's got a good layout looking on it. What's the track length? I want to see all this. I didn't look at the stats. Why didn't I look at the stats? So a duration of 89 seconds. Oh, well, it just changed to 113 seconds. I guess it's different every time. Well, the max speed of 54 miles an hour, that's actually not too bad. Average speed is 17 miles an hour. Biggest drop of 98 feet. Airtime count 0. Number of inversions 6. Where's the 6th one? It must be counting something else as an inversion, I guess. Do I have any tips on how to have enough patience to make something look really good? That's a good question. Or that's a good, definitely a good question. I know I struggle with that myself, having patience to really build stuff, because right now, nothing looks fantastic yet because it's not detailed, and you have to put in the time to really detail it. And do I have any tips on how to do that? Really, I guess you just gotta hold yourself patient, and you just gotta really kind of think about it. You know, if I rush it, it's not gonna look good. But if I take my time, I can make something amazing looking. You know, I don't know if I really have any good tips. It's really hard to be patient. It really is, because you just want your project to be get it done and make it, and immediately have that park that you want to build. So it is definitely hard to have that patience. It's not an easy thing to do. So I don't know. But it's really, I don't know. It's interesting. The duration keeps changing on me. So, oh, what was the length of track? It's 2,366 feet of track. So very short length of track, actually. So, but it's got a pretty good duration on it. But it looks awesome. I think the green just makes it pop and it looks good. So those will be a nice addition for Celebration City. I'm excited. I'm like a little girl a little fangirl trying to I'm so excited to get this park going. Oh, I love seeing multiple trains run at the same time. It's so cool. Alright, I think I'm going to decorate this up just a little bit. I'm going to take a look a little bit at some reference photos, or not photos, but more of reference from the drone footage that was shown. So it has some planters around it, but I think I'm going to keep it a little bit simpler, if that makes sense. And just add some scenery objects. We'll see how this turns out. We have to go to building first. And to decorations. No, wall decorations. This is always a good option. But does it cover that whole thing? Not very well. Not entirely, but we could place 2 at once. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a piece that uses that way we can actually place 2 of these down, and it'll make things a little bit better. Sink it down in there, and we're gonna place 2 of these down. All right, I think I'm gonna change the color. Is this a top piece? Yes. To have that dark red kind of feel. So we're gonna have that color like that. All right, so I'm gonna do this, and I'm just gonna copy this around. With also rotating it. So we're getting a little bit of the start of the detailing. This is the part where it's hard to have patience. It really is. So I'm making this slightly different than from what it is in real life. Again, I'm making a lot of stuff slightly different than what it is in real life. Again, the park layout's going to be the same. So that's what counts. That's the main part that counts. And yes, I too miss Celebration City very much. Kind of sad to see it go. So that's why we are going to make it bigger, better, and more entertaining. But my vision for what I'm actually kind of doing here is to make it in a new way. So, of course, we got the entrance here, Celebration City. We got the go-karts, looking awesome. And we're going to have a lot of new rides and a lot of different rides, since all the rides have been... Again, I'm taking this from a realistic standpoint, saying if I was to buy Celebration City, what would I do with it? Because none of the there's like no rides left there. Carousel's still there, and that's like the main one. Other rides were either a couple of rides were moved to Silver Dollar City, and all the other ones were probably sold and shipped to other parks or fairs or whatever. So like, we closed it down. Let's at least try and make some money back from what we lost on the park by selling some of the rides. I'm sure that's kind of like the thought process of it. So again, a lot of stuff's gonna be slightly different. So it's not like I'm making a recreation of what Silver Dollar or Celebration City was, but I'm actually building it into a new park, kind of. I'm gonna reprise the Celebration City name, but it's gonna have new ownership and it's gonna have new things on it. So again, this is the part where it's super hard to have patience. But this first part of detail is already going to make this pathing look a lot better. But if you know me, I'm very slow and I'm very precise because I have to have this lined up as perfect as possible. That's just how I am. I am, in a way, a perfectionist. But kind of another tip I would say on patience, to help on patience, is don't work on the same thing for 2 hours. You know, jump around a little bit. You know, work on a coaster layout, then go and work on a little bit of scenery here and there. then go back to placing another ride and, you know, just working on different things. Give yourself multiple different things to work on, and then just kind of jump back and forth. Because I know me personally, I go crazy if I'm working on the same thing for the longest time. You know, that's just how I am. Like, I want to create like the park layout as much as I can, but at the same time, I want to go back and create some scenery details and some awesome buildings over here. So I'm making all the buildings slightly different. I'm making some of the rides slightly different. So everything's going to be slightly different. But it's going to have, like, the same layout of the park is still going to be kind of the same. So we're just going to try and keep all that in mind. So there is a building here, if I remember right, and then there's a building right here. So I want to build, like, maybe some more facades, maybe have some actual stalls in there, and go from there a little bit. Because I built, like, this restaurant. This is a lot. These were all from the workshop, actually. These buildings, Main Street buildings. Because I'm not very good at Main Street buildings, so sometimes I use the workshop to my advantage. And it just works out that way, so. Where'd my music go, Planet Coaster? Now I have to fill the silence with something. And I don't know what I'm going to do for that. It's still very silent. I can, like, whisper and you can hear it perfectly. See? There it is. It was just waiting for the opportune moment to perfectly fall in place. There we go. Alright, I don't want to build all that way around just yet. But this is going to be an action-packed park with awesome stuff. It's going to have a lot of little flat rides everywhere and just a lot of different stuff in different areas. Oh, don't even get me started on GP. My goodness. The GP drive me insane as well. When you hear them, it's funny when they're waiting to ride something and you just hear them off to the side and you just want to jump in there and say, oh my gosh, all of your things you are saying are incorrect or really dumb and make no sense. Like, it kind of even annoys me the most when they don't even know the name of the ride they're in line for. It's insane. For streaming, I use OBS, which is a free software for a free streaming software, and then for actual recording videos, I use Bandicam. So I could put background music in, no problem, by just like literally playing some music. But I don't know. I love the Planet Coaster music, so I let it have its moment. Try to let it have its moments. Alright, I'm trying to fill this up with some nice foliage. And I might even put another. Also put some blocks there as well. That way those are covered up nicely. And looks fantastic. Except I can probably just get away with one single block instead. So if I go to building, actually I'll just take one of these, Control exit over here. And then we will just edit it to where it only needs 1. And now we can just copy it. Wait, I don't want to edit the building. I just want to do this. And then that will look a lot better. Whoops. I was staying in line in Millennium Force. GP number 1. This is the tallest ride in the world. Used to be. It used to be, though. I mean, that's semi-close for GP. GP number 2. I thought Top Thrill Dragster is taller. Oh, they're having a conversation here. GP 1. That's not a coaster. I lost brain cells when I heard that. It's not a coaster. Oh. But, you know, when it opened, it was. Even though, you know, Fury 325 is taller than Millennium Force, so even if Millennium Force wasn't the tallest coaster. If Top Thrill Dragster wasn't a roller coaster. Oh, I hate it when GP actually get the ride elements wrong, or the name of the elements. That's what drives me insane. Like, I've seen them call barrel rolls loops. That one drives me insane. It's not even remotely close. It's like, why are you calling this a loop? But when they get ride element names wrong, that kind of, that's one of my triggers is like, oh my gosh. Or when they tell a story about a ride that's not true. Like, did you know that someone died on this ride and lived to tell the tale? Something ridiculous like that. Alright, these little path covers, little sidewalk covers are going to look really good. And they're just the first point of scenery. So I have a lot more to do for each spot, but because I'm going to add more than just these blocks around, I'm going to add other path elements and stuff to them as well. So we're going to have this wrap all the way around. And we'll put something on the edge of there that will look really cool. Like maybe even some... Oh, I don't know. I might even make like a neat carousel sign here or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing right now, trying to figure something out by just placing some random stuff and see what happens. For instance, if I put this here, along with that, I can actually adjust it to where it's more centered. And we could put like a sign here. It's just an idea. It'd be kind of cool. Like, again, I want to create a bit of a touch for me and a little bit of my touch for the park. And this is just gonna be a placeholder. I don't know if I'm gonna change or make put a different name on it, but if we add some light decorations, like this, again, because we gotta make sure this the park's gonna be well lit at night, because this is a park that was designed for nighttime. Alright, and I'm gonna build some kind of like footers for this. Everyone used to be GP at one point. That is true. I know I was. Only when I was young and before I started riding roller coasters. Should make a brick fence that goes along. I'm thinking about putting like a fence in the center of this, there, that goes around it. I think that would look pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and come in and I don't know, edit that building, but we're gonna go in here and let's see. Go to building. Might even use the same kind of texture. At least I'm thinking about it. And I'm thinking about building a fence around it too, just to add some nice detailing to it. So we're just gonna keep this centered. Would have thought about that. I would have actually made this part of these pieces, and I could just do it all at once. But that's what I do when I experiment sometimes, is end up making it to where it'll take a longer time to build it. But that's okay, it gives me another, just more excuse to play more Planet Coaster. And there's no problem with that. Me and my nearly 1,000 hours on this game. No joke, I don't think I've played a game more than this game in my entire life. Because, essentially, this is a game I was waiting for over 10 years. Just to be announced. Ever since Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 came out, I was like, alright, so there needs to be... I was just sitting there like, alright, RCT4 will come pretty soon. I know it. And then many years went by, and then I was constantly looking online. For years, I would look on YouTube and stuff, look online, search Roller Coaster Tycoon 4, see if there was any rumors of it coming out. And then finally I heard about Roller Coaster Tycoon World. I saw the trailer of Roller Coaster Tycoon World. I immediately got super excited, saying, oh my gosh, we're finally getting another Roller Coaster Tycoon. And it's obviously nothing that... and obviously ended up being something ridiculously bad. So, and then my hope spread when I heard Frontier was going to build their, or make their own game as well. So I was like, okay, there's still hope. And then Planet Coaster just stole me away. As soon as that first trailer released, it completely blew me away. Like, I loved the trailer for it. That first launch trailer. Alright, so again, I'm one of those that can't work on the same thing for too long, or I start getting ridiculously, like, impatient. Like, ridiculously, like, you have no idea how impatient I'll get. But yeah, we built our first coaster in this area. And I kind of want to build... I don't know. I gotta remember before I get too far into these over here that these are actually connected on the sides. Let me go to Google Map. And they're not super wide, but they're a little wider. Alright, that works. That will work. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the coaster is taking up all that space. That's actually kind of realistic, as far as I go. Because I can take down that building, so that building won't exist anymore. And say that the coaster is taking up all this space right here. Which totally works out for the proportion-wise. So it's taking up all of this space right here. That pathway gets removed and ends up just using it as a roller coaster land or spot. And then those are the go-karts. I remember those very, very well. Or not go-kart, yeah, the go-karts. And then over there is the bumper cars, which we'll probably try and keep into the game. Then we get our other plot for a coaster, plot of land for a coaster. And we got that ride over there, which I'm going to have to replace because that ride's not in the game. Then we have the arcade building. Then we have this awesome epic plaza. And then we have the area where the golf course was, which I think I might use for another roller coaster. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to use that plot of land for another roller coaster. Then there is the theater over here, which is actually being used for a church right now. And then, of course, there's the land for Wildcat. I'm on Google Earth looking through all these, so. And they had a lot of, like, small kid rides over here, which aren't there anymore. So, yeah. And then back on the backside area where the light show was and the water ride was, which is, I believe, is still there. Oh, there's Accelerator. That's where Accelerator is. And it's still on here. Even though that's a Fireman's Landing now at Silver City. So we have that long stretch of area that has nothing but games. And there's just like a lot of empty plots for flat rides and stuff that we can use. That's what I'm excited about. There's a lot of empty space for those. And then, of course, I'm going to create the fireworks show as best as I can. And I can use like natural pathways, so guests will actually go over there. That would be nice. Again, it's not a huge park. I could probably get this pretty far in. But yeah, it's not like a huge park. Alright, I'm gonna see if I have any more Main Street buildings that I can use. Let's see, I used that one already. Used that one. And here's a different corner. Maybe I could squeeze this in here somehow. But that would actually fit in there pretty well. Alright, see that sidewalk is right there. If I can just fit this in, possibly right here, it actually would work pretty well. Are we having like a quiz of how much coaster knowledge we have here? How many coasters has Giovanola built? That is a good question. I think they only have 2 or 3, like someone answered. Because I know there's Goliath at Six Flags Magic Mountain. I actually don't know that many. To be honest. Alright, so that's gonna work. I'll try and blend that in as best as I can, but that corner actually works pretty well with all these. At least I think so. I gotta come up with something from over here, though. Alright, so we've made quite some good progress, I think. Just trying to get some... Yeah, from ground level, you're not going to be seeing that very much, but it will fit pretty well. Man, the stream's been going on for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I've just been so excited for this, because I really want to get this far along. I really do. But you'll see these episodes hopefully a little bit more often than how I have been doing it, because it's been like, gosh, I think it's been well over a month since the first time I actually did this, but holy poop. But yeah. You know, again, this is more of a side project than it is like a main project. You know, main project is more like Arrow Valley or Golden Valley. And I'm excited. Because we get a... I don't know how many times I've said I'm excited, but I'm excited. If you haven't... If you couldn't figure it out. I mean, this roll looks really good, but it looks like we could use the smooth tool on it just a little bit more. Maybe go through it a couple times. I don't know how many times I went through it, but a couple more probably won't help. Will probably help it. We're just gonna go through it a little bit more. Yeah, I think that helped. At least we have a heart line. That's the important part. I'm pretty proud of this project. I'm pretty proud of this coaster anyways. It's actually turned out pretty nicely so far. Yeah, we're going to be adding detail to each ride and attraction and each area. It's going to look good. Son of Beast Iron Horse treatment. Oh my gosh, that'd be like a giant 300-foot lift. I'm sure someone on their workshop's actually done that. Now I'm curious. Yes. Okay, let me go to the workshop real quick. I'm gonna... You guys can't see it, but... Koali Beach is featured. Has 5 stars. My gosh. It's the first thing that comes up, Koali Beach. Of course it is. It's an amazing park. Man, I want to do a collaboration. Okay, so let's see. Son of Beast. You can't put vertical loops on classic wooden coasters anymore. Resurrected. Looks like someone made an RMC version. Revenge of the Sun. There's a couple of them on here. This one looks pretty decent. Pretty big. Okay, so is this a park? Yes, it's a park. I'll check it out. I'll still check it out. Alright, so I think this is going to conclude this episode for Celebration City, bringing back Celebration City. I already saved it, but you can't save too much. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments, and I love the idea of just like bringing it back to life and putting in some new rides and attractions that were not originally in there, and actually kind of giving my take of what I would do to it if I was in charge of reopening it. So I actually wanted to go check out that Son of Beast recreation, or that Son of Beast RMC Son of Beast. It looked interesting. It was the best one that looked off of picture-wise. Just before we get off. Whoa. That probably sounded really weird. Just because I'm interested, because someone brought it up. Holy crap. So this is a Son of Beast RMC recreation. That looks pretty well made, not gonna lie. You did a good job on this. And just off of first thoughts and stuff, of course. Man, it's huge. Let's take a look at some stats. It's a green across the board. Incredible. Alright, so duration of 129.9 seconds, so it's over 2 minutes long. Length of 4,991 feet. Max speed is 75 miles per hour. Biggest drop of 174 feet. My goodness. Cozy little station. Yeah, it does have that whatever you call it. It does look kind of a lot like Son of Beast. So let's take a look at these elements. So it goes over like the actual ride did, and it has a very steep drop. And it comes up here, and what is this, outside bank turn? I can't see. It's an outside bank, or banks outside and then flips around, so it's an inversion. Very interesting. And it goes into the tunnels here. Very well made tunnels, actually. Well, that's a head chopper. And it comes around and then goes again. Get some outside banks. Interesting element there. There's a spiral around, comes around again. Huh. Well, let's take a ride on it real quick. Might as well. At least at the top of the lift. Just because, for fun. Revenge of the Sun. Here we go. And big drop. That's an interesting element. Kept the huge helix section pretty much the same. Did I make this? No, I did not. I just went on the Steam Workshop real quick and took a look at it before I was leaving the stream, so... It's not too bad. It's actually pretty good. Except everyone's hands are getting in the way. Can't enjoy it when your hands are in my way. Wow. How tall is this beast? Haha. 205 feet tall. Wasn't the actual one taller than that? I don't remember how tall Son of Beast was. I never rode it. Never got to ride it. But it does look like it from over here. Like, you can definitely tell, like, yeah, that looks like Son of Beast. Except it has RMC track on it. But anyways, alright, that's going to do it for this episode of Celebration City, which I already did. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more awesome content like this. And I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video, whichever you prefer to watch next. So, anyways, thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day and an even cooler tomorrow. Thanks, and goodbye.